Hello, Derek Bergener here. It's December 7th, 2017, and this is my trade recap for today. Even though I had about 10 stocks picked out from my nightly scan with a trade plan for each of those, the gap scans came in and some of these look pretty good, so it's like, you got to pick something. And I was so Sage, of course, huge gapper on some news about some trial or something, stage trial. I don't know. It's a drug company, and so of course I had to watch that. Lulu it had earnings, positive earnings. It was gapping up on earnings and CONN earnings and DG earnings. So I decided to watch those. So I made notes on each one of them based on what's happening on the daily chart. So Lulu, my plan was dip buy open 73. In other words, see, it was in this range from 74 to 73 in pre-market, and the daily chart looked good. Dip buy open. Here, let's look at the daily. Can we here? Yeah, real quick. I mapped out some levels from previous areas. Oh, I lost it. Ugh. See, if you're trying to set up your screens for a video, and you go poking around, you mess it up. All right, there's pre-market. There's what I see in pre-market. Gapping into previous gap down, my target was 75. So buy a dip to 73. Sage, positive trial of depression treatment, and it's an IPO. But this is a huge gap up, so I don't know. Then DG, dip buy 95, target 97. So you see the pre-market range right here, 95. But on the daily, there was some resistance at 97, so I'm like, all right, I'll get $2 out of this. And then CONN breakout 33, so it broke out. It already broke the 33 level. This was like a breakout on the daily chart. See that orange? That's a daily. To me, that's my orange. My orange lines are things that are like somewhere back on the chart, right? And so broke out of the 33 level on the daily. I'm going to go long at a break of 34, right? That's my plan. So here's your pre-market. Pre-market right there, and then the target 36, because there was something else. Yeah, see, there was something else on the daily right there that would be resistance. So that's my plan. All right, so as things went along here, Lulu, so I'm watching this, exactly what you're seeing right here. Lulu goes along and it opens and it drops, so I'm like, it dropped below the 73, below the pre-market. So dip by 73. Like I didn't know what to do with that. That wasn't like going with my plan. Sage, all right, opens up and it pops up, positive trial. But I'm like real skittish on this, so I'm like just watching it more out of curiosity. And then DG, dip by 95. So there it is. So, oh, wait, get on this screen. So it pops up. See, this is that's the last candle before the market open. And I'm like, oh, damn it. I wanted to buy at 95. Because this was a potential, like this was a setup for a breakout. And so, I didn't know what to do with that. So I had picked DG and CONN down here as my two main watches. I ruled out Sage and I ruled out Lulu. Picked two. So now here we come on the 1 minute. The coming along here, and the first. There's the. Is that the first? Yeah, that's the first candle at the open on CONN, and my plan was long at 34. Like, oh, it's ripping, crap. So anyway, all right, so let's start with DG here. You can see my results here. You can tell which one that was my winner, CONN. DG, I lost initially, then regained a little bit. So here's what happened on DG. Remember, I was watching this pre-market action right here. Right there was my high marked out, and there was like my lows marked out, and I was going to long above this level, and there was the first 1 minute candle in pre-market, and I'm like, and look what happened. It popped up above that level, right? And I go long. Now this candle, no, there's the open. See, this candle wasn't red yet. See, that's what's deceiving about this post-market and this post-trade analysis. This candle was not red. It opened and it pulled back a little, and it was like looking like it's going to go. And I got long. This is an earnings winner, right? And bam, rejected. So that's my $174 loss right there. So I regrouped and I'm like, okay, now if you go back, so if we look at DG here on the daily chart, I had marked out this 96.88. See, it's orange. That's like my indication for like something back on the chart. And where's the pre-market here? So my plan was dip by 95, target 97. But what happened is, see, it popped. See, it popped to this 96.25 at the high of the pre-market, and this 96.88 was like resistance here on the daily, and it completely failed before that. So I don't know. I don't know how you interpret this, but anyway, I switched my bias. I'm like, no, this got rejected. This stuffed and got rejected hard. I lost money. But let me just wait for, well, it went down, so I waited for a pullback. So this was actually kind of a good entry right here, right? So I waited till it come down and waited till it came back up and top hit the VWAP there. That's my orange line. And that was actually a very good entry because I'm deciding this is a short now. And sure enough, it was. And where did I take profits? None. And it's coming down. It's coming down. But this is like not really trending hard. It's kind of leveling out. So I decided to cover right there, which was fine. That was a good place to cover. Because see, it popped up. But then I'm like, okay, well, this could possibly still be a short, because if you looked at the 5 minute chart, still downtrending, and that only went up to the 20 EMA on the 1 minute. So I shorted right there, and I'm like, okay, look, that's looking weak. That's looking really weak, And I added, see, before that candle went down right there, see the 9 EMA curling over like that, and it's having this squeeze on this level right here. So I added 200. I shorted 100 here, and I shorted 200 there. So I was short 300. And God, when it dropped, I should have covered some. Like, come on. When am I going to learn to do that? Because look what happened. Popped back up. And where did I get out? Boom, right there, flat. So frustrating. Just follow the rules. You get a nice little boom, cover some, right? Okay? And then I cut that. That's where I got out, and I just got out everything right there, and that was the end of that trade. So, okay, lesson learned on that. Okay, so let's switch to CONN. Okay. If you remember, I had, okay, we can quickly recover to this here. Boom, boom, boom. There's pre-market. Okay, so I had Yeah, so I had these levels marked out here. 34 was the high of pre-market, and if you look at the daily over here, this is before we know what's going to happen, all right? And I had these levels marked out. I mean, it's going back so far, it's kind of hard to find some levels here, but I did the best I could to just make a game plan, right? So CONN, breakout 33. But if you look at here, this was a much better breakout scenario, because see how this has been coming up for a long time, and then it hit this 33 level and has had 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 days of pullback consolidation. Do you see that? That's like a that's like a bull flag right here. See this general pattern like that? So when it was gapping up above that level, which it did, see at the 34, that to me, that's supposedly a better break, it's gapping up above on a breakout there. So I was looking to long above 34. And let's go see what happened. Alright, so here we go to long above 34. And I guess I should have drawn a little line here at 34. Is that this? Yeah, this was the pre-market high of 34. And then right before the market opened, see, it gave that little candle right there above the 34 and came back down. And so it pops up and I'm like, oh, I should have just had an order. This is where I need to work on, is having an order sitting there. And I didn't. I don't do that at all. I do hotkey orders, but I should have had an order sitting there to get filled, and it would have been golden. So it goes up and gets a little rejection there, but that's okay. See, it's holding, the EMAs and the VWAP. And so now here, all right, you might have seen there where I actually got in. But what I'm looking at here is this line, this pullback right here, and see, it's holding. So the idea is the next candle to make a new high above that level, go long, because if this is gonna, like a trending stock, this is what they do. So no, I was a little late, right? So had I had my order sitting here at 34, I need to work at that. So there's where I went long. Bad, and this is a 5-cent ticker too, I believe. Let me check. CONN. Yeah, it is. So this is a little different, tricky to get a good entry. So this might help to have orders sitting, and I got in there. And at one point, when this thing pulled back, I was down to $300 during this candle. I was down $300 during that candle, and I'm like, oh. But that's my risk level. If I'm trading my full account size, 1%, $30,000 account, 1% risk per trade, $300, right? And so, I'm looking at this size of these candles, and that's how I'm doing my sizing, and that's $1,000, or 1,000 shares. But anyway, so I'm like, okay, it's pulled back a little bit to the 9 EMA. We're still good. And then it took off. And that's fine. This is how they work. This is what you have to have in your mind ahead of time, that this is how it's going to work. If it breaks below this level that it has already achieved, like look at this. You see this right here? Right? Okay, this little flag right here, it has already achieved this level, like the center line of this flag right here. And it can wiggle around a little bit, but that's the level that it has achieved. Or, you might say, looking more like that level, right? And as long as it doesn't break below that, or there's the previous high of that candle, see that one right there? You need a little bit of wiggle room, but that's what you're really looking at. A momentum stock that's going to take off is going to hold these levels. It's not going to drop back down below. If it does, you just get out. it's broken. The idea is if this is going to take off, it's going to take off. So, and it did. And so now the plan was, remember, my target was, see, that's the problem with like, well, my TC2000 is up on one screen, and my trading platform is up on another, and you know the target was 36. Was thinking that's the most I'm going to get out of this because of something on the daily, and it got to 36, and boom, I was like, done, I'm done, right there, got to 36. And I got out. Now, that was a big mistake. I should have only sold half. Or, yeah, should have only sold half. And let the rest ride. Because, see, kept on going. And it made it to 37. And that was it, I think. Yeah. Yeah, 37 was it. Well, 37.50, but you know that was it. So right there, so I risked. I took 1,000 shares, risked $300 on it, made 1,000. See right here, 3-to-1, and should have been more. I should have just taken off half right there and let it ride for another $1. Huh? Right? Yeah. Had I had an order sitting here at 34, that's 3 points. That would be $3,000. Okay. Anyway, those were my 2 trades. I did one other, but it was like, it didn't really work. You know, but and it was much later in the day. It was something I found from a, you know, high of day type of thing. But these were my 2 trades from the open. Okay. Hope that helps somebody. Thanks. Bye.